Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the average net worth by age and seeing how you do compare. So if you've ever wondered how you compare to your peers compared to your age group, when you look at billionaires like Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z that have billions of dollars, overall, you want to see where you kind of place really not for the comparison aspect, but more of the, are you on the right track when it comes to finances, when it comes to spending, when it comes to the net worth. So how do we calculate net worth? Now, net worth is everything that you own that is an asset minus everything that is a liability. So you can go in and look at credit card debt, you can look at student loans, and then adding in or subtracting out those from the value of your assets, which could be the totality of your retirement accounts, the value of your home in relationship to what you owe on your home to really calculate your net worth. Now I know with the elimination of debt, net worth will go up, which is again is a really big thing. Even when you look at assets, even depreciation assets such as automobiles, things of that nature, again, if they are completely paid off, it is an asset that you do own, that essentially if you did sell that asset, you would get X amount of dollars for it. So what is the average net worth in America? The average net worth is $750,000. Now that is very dependent on where you are or where you fall within the net worth by age, which we're gonna go ahead and check out. And I'm gonna give you my opinion and my thoughts on kind of the net worth in the calculation. So looking at less than 35, really your 20s, your 30s, median net worth is negative to about $13,000. Now that is kind of crazy because you got to think, if you're 18, you get a job, if you're going to school, everything like that. Now you're really the 20 to 30 age is the biggest point where you're going to probably carry the most student loans. Once you start getting into a working professional, when you're 22, 24, 25, depending on how long you go to school, that is the point when you can start accumulating wealth. Now, of course, being younger, you're not going to have a home. You might have an automobile. You're not going to have a high balance in a retirement account for most of us. But the median net worth, again, ranges from negative based on student loans. If you're coming out of college owing, $50, $100, $150,000 in student loans, your net worth is far, is pretty low at that point, but it is with good reason. Coming out with student loans, chances are you're going to get a high paying job, which means with a higher paying job, you can actually repay those student loans back. So over the longevity of your life, you are going to accumulate money much faster and increasing your net worth much faster if you don't add in the debt. So that is really one of the big caveats, guys, is really not racking up a ton of debt while building up that net worth. Now looking at the 35 to 44 category, the median is $91,000. That is right, guys. 35 to 41 or 44 is less than $100,000 of a net worth. So when you look at that kind of category, student loans at this point are still held by some people, but should be kind of paid off. You're probably into a mortgage. 35 to 44, you probably have kids, which of course are not kind of calculated in this equation, but you're starting to get a lot more things and a lot more expensive. This is where lifestyle creep can come in. This is where keeping up with the Joneses can really come in. And this is where it gets really expensive, guys. Calculating the net worth, again, can be very important to really just gauge where you're at. So if you're falling in that 35 to 44 age, looking at and calculating exactly where your net worth is can be very, very helpful. Now looking at the 45 to 54, the median goes up to 168. So when you look at that, you're talking about $80,000 more. So you're starting to earn a higher salary. You're more developed, kind of built in your career. Also starting to get those investment accounts a lot higher. And hopefully at this point, the debt elimination has happened. I know for a majority of people, that is not the case, but this is really the point, guys, that you want to get that debt elimination completely done at this point. You want to eliminate the debt. You want to pay off those car payments, pay off those credit cards, also focusing on paying down the mortgage. Now at this point, again, you should be investing at least 15% of your salary, which should have started long ago. If you start this in your 20s, when you get 30s and 40s, when you start getting in the 40s, you've already had 20 years of growth with those retirement accounts, which is absolutely game-changing, guys, when it comes to the compounding interest over the last 20 years. But now, like I said, this is kind of a conversion into the debt elimination, which can skyrocket your net worth. As soon as you eliminate your bills, all of a sudden you have a lot more money to invest. Now looking at the next bracket, the 55 to 64, median is 212,000. So at this point, guys, you've almost got $250,000. But again, you're 55 to 64, you're coming into your retirement age. I know in the US right now, I believe it is now 68 to retire. So again, you're at the point where you really need to be stacking any of the investment accounts that you can, putting more money in investments, putting money in HSAs, putting it in IRAs, putting it in 401ks, anything that you can stack up during your working years, really building up that net worth. That way, when you're getting ready to retire or you move into retirement, you're going to be completely debt-free at that point. Now, looking at the 65 to 74, $266,000 is the median, guys. So that means you've went over the $250,000 mark. But again, it's incredibly, incredibly low. You know, for a lot of individuals, $250,000 in retirement accounts or net worth is really good. But overall, guys, that is not going to last for very long, especially when you put it in comparison to your income. So if you're a person that's making, let's say, $80,000 to $100,000 a year, you only have roughly 2 times your income already saved in there, which is not enough to really sustain you through, you know, the combination of Social Security and what you have saved, if that is in retirement accounts. Now, when you hit 75 plus, median net worth actually goes down. So let me say that one more time, guys. When you start hitting that 75 plus, the median or the net worth for individuals start going down. A lot of people do not realize when it comes to the retirement age, because now you do not have 40 hours that are tied up with a full-time job, chances are you're going to spend more money in retirement because you have more time in retirement. In addition to that, guys, we see a lot of increases when it comes to healthcare costs. Again, just really caring for that individual. But that's where you get, you know, your kids are grown, your grandkids are in the picture, things of that nature, usually around that age. Now, when you look at your calculation, why is it really important, guys? It is a financial pulse or a check-in to see, am I saving enough? Am I paying down debt? You know, really focusing on a couple things that you're not living paycheck to paycheck, because if that's the case, when you move into retirement, if you're still carrying a mortgage, it is incredibly difficult to live the lifestyle that you have or the lifestyle that you want going into retirement if you're carrying a full mortgage. So what is the best ways to really increase this net worth? Number one, the debt payoff strategy. This is really a huge important thing, guys. The longer that you're carrying debt, the less you're investing, the less you're building. So you really have, you know, really, like we've talked about before, one of two people, either one that gets paycheck, you know where all the money's going, you know where the bills are, you know how much you have at the end of the month. And then you have the second person, which you get a paycheck, you wonder where all your money goes, and then you have to borrow more money essentially to sustain your life, which of course is not going to work when it comes to an extended amount of time. Creating a plan, creating a budget, getting rid of debt is going to increase your net worth. Now, growing your money is one of the fastest ways, guys. When you set up automatic savings, when you're putting money into investment accounts, when you're getting high interest, you know, those high yield savings accounts, or even investing in the S&P 500, it is huge to gain wealth, because not only do you have the growth factor of the money that is within those investment accounts, but you also have the dividend growth in there as well, which is going to work, especially you couple that with the debt elimination. Now, personally, guys, I use the debt avalanche, where you kind of line up all of your debt, see what is the, you know, really the highest, knock that out, and then go down, right down the line. The big thing with that, guys, is you have to have that emergency fund, and you have to make sure that you're not taking on new debt. That is one of the quickest ways to really tank your net worth, guys, is taking on a lot of additional debt. Now, the final point in this, guys, be patient. The trend for most people, the net worth will increase as you get older. Do your best, take a minute, check in, figure out your net worth, go through, do the calculations, guys. Figure out exactly what you have in your checking, savings accounts, retirement accounts. What is your value of real estate, cars, other assets, things of that nature, minus out the liabilities that you still owe, mortgages, loans, cars, credit cards, student loans, any other debt. So you really get to know your money, guys. The closer that you come to this, and the more time and effort that you really get into the net worth, the investing, the budgeting, it can really holistically change your life for the better, because you're going to know where your money is going. You're going to know what you're spending it on, and you're not going to be wondering exactly what happened when you get 10, 20, even 30 years down the road. You're not going to be again questioning what is happening and how you're going to afford things. So guys, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.